G'day folks, welcome back to Vietnam, 1965 to 1975. What I have here is this partway through the setup for scenario 18.1.4, the first volley. This scenario captures the initial 3rd Marine Division landing at Da Nang in summer 1965. This scenario runs for 2 turns, and effectively it's based on victory points now. So the NLF are trying to secure these cities, and the Americans will be trying to hold them off. So the NLF need 23 victory points for victory, and anything less, 19 to 22 is a draw, 18 or less will be an Allied victory. So what have we got here? We've got about 8 Marine battalions in Da Nang. We've also got, they've got a couple of headquarters, couple of regimental headquarters. They've got a 105, just a 105 millimeter artillery battalion with them as well. That'll add a little bit of support. They've got a cruiser along the coast that can add some support along the coast. We have also got to play out somewhere the entire 1st Division and the entire 2nd Division of the Army of the Republic of Vietnam. So I've got to dig them out and find them. They could be anywhere. We've got the 1st, 2nd Division and 5 infantry battalions. Okay, so the 5 infantry battalions are easy to find. That's these guys here. 3, 4, 5. Strength 1. Terrible pursuit. -1 on pursuit. So they're my 5 infantry battalions. I have to find the 1st Division and the 2nd Division. Right, well, I found the 2nd Division, and they look like this. Okay, so I've got those guys. What else have we got here? That's a reconnaissance battalion, and I've got a counter stuck in the counter tray, so he doesn't want to come out, but that'll be their headquarters coming out last. All right, so that's their headquarters. Now I need to find the 1st Division, the entire 1st Division. Shouldn't be too hard. They should have a big 1 up in the corner. So they look like that. Okay, so these ARVN forces can set up anywhere in 1st Corps Zone. All right, so we've got another reconnaissance battalion with a +2 modifier. That's their advantage. These guys are a bit better. They have a +1 pursuit modifier. Right, so these are very vulnerable. Before I do this, what's important here, 111. What's frustrating about this, right, is it's hard to know if I've got the whole division here. So where, for example, is, here it is, the HQ. So we've got four regiments, HQ, and a reconnaissance battalion. Whereas for the 2nd Division, I've got 3 regiments, and it's hard to know because it's hard to know if I've got everything. I like it when games say the 7 units of this division or whatever. When it just says this division, it's hard to know if it's complete. So I don't know, for example, if there's meant to be another division here, because all the ARVN forces are quite variable, it seems. All right, I think that's it. I've flicked through all these units. Okay. All right. Yep. Just found a little loose counter. Okay, so what's important here are the victory conditions, because this is what this scenario is going to be decided by. Let me share the victory point schedule. So here we go. The NLF score 5 points for each friendly unit in a capital city or major capital city at the end of the scenario. I also need where's my rule book? Still got charts everywhere. Okay, so let's Major city, major. Oh, here we go. We've got the. No, I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find. Here we go. Capital city, major capital city. So Da Nang is a capital city with that square. Hue is a major capital city. So 5 points for every NLF unit to a maximum of 5 in one of those two. I can't see any others. I should get these guys out of the way. I'll talk about these in a moment. These are my reinforcements. I'll talk about these in a moment. Yeah, I can't see any others. So it's just those two. So up to 25 points for each of these. 2 for each friendly unit in a capital town. Okay, so what are capital towns? Capital towns are all these red dots. So up here, that's not a red dot. So I've got 1, 2, 3 in this region. So 3 of those. So up to 30 points for those. 2 points for each other town occupied. So not per unit, but per town. So 2, 2, 2. Yeah, a couple of those. Quite a few up near the northern border. This is North Vietnamese border here. 1 point for each other cultivated hex that is occupied. 1 point for each other cultivated hex. Okay, so these are all the cultivated hexes. So here's 1 point per hex. So it seems as, wow, okay. And again, so the Vietnamese only need 23 victory points for a victory. Right, so they'll add up these points, 23, and they win. The Americans are trying to contain them to less than 18. Between 19 and 22, I think it's a draw. And then half a point for each other hex in South Vietnam occupied by the NLF. Wow. So half a point per hex. Now they start off with, what have we got here? 12, 13, 14, 15 VC units. That's almost 15. They can just occupy the cultivated areas, and that's 15 victory points. And then just need sort of, what I say this was? This is 2, 4, 6, and 2 per unit. Wow, it's going to be tough for the Americans. Okay, victory points for the preceding are mutually exclusive. Only one type of award can be given. Okay, no worries. And then it says 10 for each major capital city captured at any point. Wow, so if they just capital Hue at any point during the scenario, they get 10 points. 10 points for each US counter eliminated. Wow, so they kill two US units and they win. Well, they've got enough for victory almost, pretty much. What else? 2 points for each free fire zone. Oh, interesting. So that's a limitation on US declaring free fire zones. Okay. 1 for each US replacement point expended. Wow. So even spending US replacement points, I've got 30 of these, but even if I spend them, I'm losing victory points. 1 for each combat and artillery strength point of ARVN and Free World allies eliminated, and a quarter of a point for each ARVN replacement point. So ARVN definitely has to be my cannon fodder. They've got to soak up because it's a quarter of a point. So for each ARVN point, it's 1 point for each US replacement. So how do the allies get points? How do the Americans get points? 4 for each NVA cannon removed of any type. 3 for each VC brigade, headquarters or supply conduit that is eliminated, dispersed or broken down. Oh, NVA. Okay, so NVA. 4 for each of these removed. 3 for each. Are these battalions though? Oh, it's 1 point for each battalion. So we do have one. That's a regiment. So I'm confused by that. This is the 63rd Regiment. So it's not a brigade. So how do I score a VC brigade being eliminated? There are no HQs. Maybe they're not in this scenario. There is a reference here to 16.5.9. Supply conduits. Yep, doesn't say anything about brigades. Okay, so basically eliminating these units helps the allies get points. and a quarter of a point for each NVA replacement. There's not many of those. Okay. So, geez. Okay, the Americans are going to have to be pretty efficient because they can't afford to suffer casualties. So, support, I guess, are going to really have to rely on their efficient use of support and the NVA. So here we go. Here's the NVA headquarters, and I might place these guys up in Hue because, yeah, I'll put these guys up here. That's going to be important, I'm sure. Want to keep these guys. This is my reconnaissance battalion close to the coast. Do I throw them up here and really defend? All right, so that's my capital town. That's worth victory points. Hue is definitely very important. I might place them in Hue as well. Then I've got the 2nd Division headquarters, and I might place them in the south. Okay, so I'll place the headquarters there. I will put a regiment down there. Where else? Maybe another one in Hoi An, and my reconnaissance unit there as well. Okay, so then I've got these 5 effectively garrison units, and I don't want to send them out as cannon fodder. And there is no kind of. They're double-sided. Why are they double-sided? Okay, one's a 217, one's a 106. Why are they different? I honestly don't know. I didn't notice that before. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. And what else? Keep some units there. Yeah. Oh, they are ineffective ARVN, right? So let me check the scenario guide. Okay, so where does it say ARVN? The ARVN division is the 2nd ARVN division is ineffective. That's this one down here. Okay, they are ineffective. I did read the rules for ineffective. I have forgotten the rules for ineffective units. 10.1. What does it mean when a unit is ineffective? Okay, they're eligible for all operations. They can still react and defend normally, except strategic movement. They retain their ZOCs. Okay, and they just have this ineffective marker placed on them. All right, that's why I'm putting them down the south, kind of out of the way. Right, so they are ineffective, but they will be available to defend the south if things happen. Okay, what else? I still don't know why they have 2 sides on them. Yep, I don't know why. Rangers, regional forces, maybe? Okay, so regional forces add 2 to the combat strength of a force defending in a hex containing a town, capital town, blah, blah, blah. So do I just flip? But it also adds, flipping them also adds 1 to their pursuit value. I don't know. I'm a bit lost here. I don't know why the ARVN units are double-sided. Oh, because it not only increases their artillery, it also increases their strength and their pursuit value, and definitely makes them better units. Okay, I've paused the recording, I've done some digging, I've found it. The reverse side is for augmented ARVN units. One set of values, supply cost is given, blah, blah, blah. Such a conversion can take place during recruitment. So for the full campaign, you can augment these units. So they should be on their reduced side, which they are. Setup is correct. Okay, sorry about that. That was... So they're ineffective down here. Yeah, scattering of forces. Do I need to think about this? Should I? I'm pretty keen to concentrate around Hue. I can respond, all right? So if I get attacked somewhere, oh boy, yeah, I'll have that defensive response. Am I leaving these guys vulnerable? I think we're just, the idea here is I'm stopping the VC just from moving into these areas. Now the question is, do I leave these unoccupied? I think I do. Yes, I know that is just a few quick. Is it instant VP? No, they actually have to occupy these towns at the end of the scenario, so they can move into these towns. The problem is I don't want to lose. Or major capital cities is the main thing. I don't want to lose capital cities or capital towns. So capital towns are the red dots. So they're the most important ones to defend, because if at any time they're captured, that's 3 instant VPs, which will never be lost. So protecting those key points, I think, yeah, I've got 10 strength there. I might even move these guys over. Maybe there's no point defending these towns, because if they do hit these towns, I can always strike back, right? So I might give some more strength. I know they're ineffective. I know, yeah, I'm going to bring some more units down the south here to defend these red dots, these capital towns, because as I said, if they fall, yeah. So I probably don't need to hold that. Maybe some more strength down the south with these ineffective ARVN units. Actually, this is where the Americans are. I'll bring some more up to the north. All right, so consolidating all these allied forces in those kind of major urban areas. Now we've got oh wow, we've got a lot of VC and NVA units. We have got the 63rd Regiment. They've only got one sort of designated regiment. So let's think now about NLF strategy. I don't want to say Hue. I want to capture that. That's going to be my main objective. I'm going to say, yep, this is what I'm going for. Huge victory points to be had in this area. Huge victory points to be had. Huge victory points to be had through here. So if I can draw the Americans north, that's what I want to do. So we're going to send those. This is the 324th B Division of the NVA. They're going to cross the border. They're going to put pressure on Quangtri up here. Try and capture that. That's 3 VP for capturing it, plus more for holding it, plus points for the towns and cultivated areas surrounding. I'm going to designate the VC to put pressure on Hue. So these guys can set up anywhere in the play area, right? Now what have I got here? I know that is a regiment. And then I've got 12 random battalions. And I haven't looked at these yet. I've got 2 political segments. To play this, because I'll know, to play this solo, I'm going to mix in the political segments with these units. So now I don't know where they are. So even I, as playing the VC, won't know where this bluff is coming from. Okay, so I'll be moving all these units as though they're actual units, not knowing. So how am I going to organize this? All right, well, I want to be able to slow down the Americans if they try to move. Look, this is a great choke point here with this rough terrain. I want to be able to slow them down if they move through this area. Do I defend? Oops, I didn't see that. They can move in force, so maybe I don't want to. Maybe I don't want to be too close to the coast, but I do. That's a great place. I might just put 1 unit there. It might be cannon fodder, but it'll force the Americans to drive north. All right. So what else? Look, I should put some pressure on the south as well. If I can, I don't know how effective I'll be versus these. What is it again? The ineffective 2nd Division. But I would like to put some pressure on them, keep them in the south, basically, away from Hue. All right, so this is my key regiment, a 626. And I'm going to set them up here in Bin Dien with some support. And that's going to be sort of my main, we're going to capture Phong Dien straight away to cut that road pretty much. And that is going to be a victory point at the end of the scenario. So I won't track it now. What else have I got? Okay, a couple more units. Let's block this road to Hue. If the Americans clear through here, got 2 units here, zones of control blocking them. I could capture Fubai if I want. Do I want the VC to help out in the north to attack Quang Tri, or do I just rely on the NVA to get that job done? I want the VC to really block as much as possible. Keep the Americans down the south for as long as possible. So I'm going to put them right on that road. And maybe some more down the south to threaten. Yep, put some more down here. Okay, look, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is a good setup or not. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so as I said, we've got 8 US Marine battalions in Da Nang. We have got a lot more coming on. Well, not a lot more, a few more in the second turn, which will really increase their hitting power. 10 air points available. They're going to really try and hold those back until the second turn. I don't really want to expend any of these air points in the first turn. We will have our cruiser though. It'll keep coming back. I think it'll come back each turn. So we'll have that cruiser for, one operation from memory? Okay, so let's get started. Where are we? Game turn. Support phase. The allied plate indicates available air, blah, blah, blah. I've done that. Special operations phase. The allied player marks any units on hold or patrol. Okay, so the idea here is holding adds to my defense. So something like holding will add to my defense. So these guys down the south here, all right, although, do I want to try and seek out? I think they're going to hold for the first turn. It adds to their defense, but is it really that much of a difference? The difference between holding and, let's have a look. So holding, combat strength is doubled. Okay, so combat strength is doubled. So in a place like Hue, for example, we can just hold there and double our strength. In a place like Quang Tri, we can hold and double our defense. So maybe we just get the ARVN forces to hold and we rely on the Marines to do their sort of search and destroy operations. Having said that, look, the way the VC have set up, they don't have a lot down here in the south. What I could do is get this regiment to try to push out. I reckon I could probably do that whilst keeping a decent defense, maybe. What have I got here? I've got yeah, here's where my headquarters is. So I reckon I could push out from there. I'm almost tempted not to hold with these units, just to maybe if I can clear the VC out from the south, push them into the highlands, and that just frees up this southern area. So yeah, I'm going to hold up in the north, but maybe not hold in the south. Maybe we will be a bit aggressive down in the south. Okay, so yeah, just 2 units holding. Then the NLF play does the same, so holding or patrol. Okay, so are there any NLF units that want to hold or patrol? Yes, these guys are going to patrol. So by placing these units in patrol, it increases their zone of control cost, movement cost for enemy forces by 1. Put 1 on there. And look, I think, and these guys as well. So, actually, you know what? They will patrol, yeah, just in case the Americans get that far. So what I'm doing is trying to block this main path to the north. And again, not saying this is a good strategy, but this is what I'm going with. All right, so, and everyone else is going to be active, I think. Maybe I want these guys to be aggressive as well. Maybe I don't want them patrolling. So we've just got a couple of units patrolling, slowing down the Americans if they try and move north. And we'll get these guys to be aggressive. It's going to be interesting to see how this all works out. I'll be learning some lessons from all of these decisions. So yeah, these guys will be active. We might get some VC operations rolling. Now we get the strategic movement phase. So the Allied player can conduct a security operation. And a security operation can be clearing this road. Okay, so I think I've kind of weighed this up in the past, where I have been focused on destroying NLF units. Now though, I need to keep my lines of communication open. So now I think I will engage in a security operation. A unit or a single stack must begin the phase on the road. So I can begin, for example, with an American, maybe a stack. Maybe I'll send the 9th Brigade out. Okay, so we do have their, yeah, that's their headquarters are coming. So they've got their intrinsic artillery, I believe. Okay. Just double checking that. That's the divisional. I need to double check that. Because it's all about their deployment, their level of deployment. So they can be put in 3 ways. All units brought into play as reinforcements come on face up as a second deployment without artillery, unless an entire brigade or regiment is brought in on the same turn. Okay, so I believe they don't have their artillery with them because they're not deployed altogether and they don't have their headquarters. So their headquarters is coming in. There it is, 9th Regiment, 3rd Marine Division. So because the headquarters hasn't arrived yet, they've basically, I understand, they've arrived without their artillery. It's coming. But we do have artillery here, which has a range of adjacent. So it can hit adjacent units. I probably should be a bit prepared because I don't know. And let's sort out these units as well. So here's the headquarters. And these guys won't have their artillery. Yep, it's all tied into the headquarters. So, do I do a security operation? I think I have to, because I don't think I'm going to be able to. So the headquarters has a range of adjacent, basically. All right, let's try this. Let's try and send the 9th Regiment on a security operation. And then we follow the flowchart. So diagram B is a security operation. Assign 1 unit or stack on a road. Independent artillery may be assigned for support, but it cannot move, so it's pointless, basically. The stack may not include both US and ARVN units, but free world allies can with either, it says. Okay, declare air and naval support. So, I might draw upon my naval support for this operation, just because I don't have any other support otherwise. So yeah, bring in my cruiser to help out. Now I move my assigned units to a security operation. They can move along roads for the entire operation at a cost of 0 movements. They only spend points to enter or exit enemy zones of control. So they go 0, 1 to exit that ZOC. Now, if the operating units enter an enemy occupied road hex, they must attack immediately. So they spent. I've got to find a way to track this movement because they've got 8. So for now, I'll use a dice. If you spent 1 movement, because now they're going to attack and I'll lose track of that movement. I can engage in offensive interdiction. That increases the movement cost to leave a hex. But no, I won't spend anything. Now I announce the attack and we reveal the VC. What do they have hiding under here? Ooh, they had a 207 battalion. All right, the defender chooses the terrain they're defending in. They are actually in decent terrain here. So this is that rough mountain terrain, which provides a -3 dice roll modifier. Okay. So now we determine dice roll modifiers. We are looking at 7 plus 3 is 13 on 2, which is 6 to 1, which is already looking pretty good. That's a +5 dice roll modifier. Minus a 3 for the terrain is a +2. +2. So what do we got here? +2 dice roll modifier to our die roll. Yep, terrain effects. And then we roll a dice and see what happens. A 5. +2 is a 7. Okay, that is an air mobile point lost if hot landing zone. No, that's not the case. We have a +3 pursuit modifier, which is going to be very handy for the US if they need to pursue. Okay, so 5, 6, 7. The defenders have a strength of 2, and I've got 6 support, which puts them on the 8 column, which causes 2 losses. So 7, defender, 2. That's 2 VC losses. I could take that unit off, or I could reduce VC replacements by 2. I think I'll reduce VC replacements by 2. I think that is the equivalent of, what is that, half a victory point? Allies. Nope, nothing. No victory points for VC replacements. Okay, not to worry. We are already winding them down, or grinding them down. Okay, so now the Americans. They had a strength of 7, no support. So 7, no support, 7. It's actually 1 US loss. So 1 US replacement comes down. And that is a victory point. Now, is that an instant victory point? 1 for each US replacement expended. Yep, that's 1 NBA or NLF victory point. 1 for each replacement point, yeah. Unlucky. I'll just double check that. 7, yep, 1 loss. Okay, but now what happens to the security operation? Roll a d6, apply casualties, all support points, so they are spent, but then, round of operation complete, all support points are available again for use in the following rounds. Any defending units may retreat their full movement points in any direction. Okay, so let's go from here. They get 7. It's going to cost 2 to leave the hex because of the zones of control. I could go 1, 2, 3, and then follow the road. 4, 5, 6, and stop there. So I can continue, move up the road. Oh, patrol, extra movement points. So I forgot about that. It's now 2 because of the extra ZOC, because they're in patrol mode. Any operating units may withdraw to the hex in which they entered. No, I don't want that to happen. Interdiction markers, no. Have I withdrawn? No. Have all defending units retreated? Yes. Move units assigned to the security operation. Okay, so now I can keep going. I've spent 2 out of my 8. I move here for free, doesn't cost me anything. Then I move into this hex for 2. Normally 1 to exit an enemy zone of control, but again, this is an operating unit, so a patrolling unit, so 4. We've spent 4 movement points, and again, we find ourselves in the thick of it. All right, so there's no pursuit. They just continue moving until they're done. So it's a subtle difference between a security operation and a search and destroy. Security, we can continue moving as long as we follow this road, clear that road out. It means I can't clear these guys out from that mountain region. This white line is a regional boundary, not a road. All right, so we are in the hex. We will not engage in interdiction. All we're trying to do is hurt them pretty much and get them off this highway. They've got enough movement points, I think, to move freely anyway. There are no movement restrictions on these guys in this scenario. So we declare our attack. Same units. Ooh, we have a 206 again in this hex. Should be exactly the same odds. We're going to throw our cruiser in again. So we have 7 plus 3, 6 to 1. That's a +5 bonus. This time they're in a jungle, which is not as good. It's only a -1. So we're looking at a +4 modifier to a 3, which is another 7. Unfortunately, I know that means the Americans are going to take a hit. But it also means that 2 plus 6 is 8. On a 7 is 2 more VC losses. Okay. And 1 US replacement. 1 NLF victory point. Is it worth it? I don't know. We are certainly grinding down these VC replacements at a ratio of 2 to 1. I don't know. They will now have to retreat. The Americans hold this hex. They get 6 movement. So they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and I might stop there. I don't want to get too far away. So it's interesting. They can just keep retreating up this road. Yes, I'm clearing this road out, but all I'm really doing is pushing them further north. It'll help, I guess. These guys adjacent to the road are real troublemakers because they're still exerting their zone of control on the road itself. Okay, end of the attack. Support is available again. They've retreated. I don't want to withdraw. I'll continue moving. Pretty simple now, this one. Another 2 movement points to enter this zone of control. We're up to 6 out of our 8. We've basically got 1 more move available. We know what this unit is. We know the odds. It is in a cultivated area. So this is where it will start to hurt the VC because they're in a cultivated area which has no dice roll modifier. So we're looking at +5 for our odds. To 5 is 10. Now a 10, 2 plus 6 is 8, is 2 more VC losses. And a 10, 7 with no support. They had no support, right? Yep. Oh, wow. It's 1 American loss. That dog's getting frustrated. Okay, so wow. Another American casualty. And this unit can continue to retreat up to their full movement. Now, the Americans aren't going to be able to clear this whole road now, so we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we can grab that little town for now. The Americans, 6 movement. They'll spend their last 2 to move into here. Okay, so 1 more security operation, clearing this road out, exactly the same odds. Again, cultivated terrain, so we're going to +5 modifier to a 6 is an 11. I can tell you that the 2 plus 6 is 8. It's going to be 3 VC losses. Now in this case, they cannot take more than what, it's a 2 strength unit. they need to take 3 losses, so they need to lose that unit. And I can tell you that with 11 plus, the Americans don't suffer any casualties at all. So they have finally wiped out a VC battalion and mostly cleared the road through to Hue. First, that's just the security operation complete. Okay, so if I go back to this is just the strategic movement phase. I may conduct security operations, plural. So I could, I think, send out an ARVN force. I think. Do I have to declare them 3.4? Do I have to declare the number of security operations I'm conducting before I start? Moving stack cannot contain both US. Yep, I know that. Units assigned can move along roads. After retreats, the operation player can withdraw to the hex from which they entered. Blah blah blah. Don't want to do that. They cannot attack enemy in adjacent hexes, only in their own hex. I think from my reading of this so far, I think I can declare another security operation. Basically, that security operation, they're done. So these guys are now marked ops complete. This is the only disadvantage. Oh, they're on hold. Okay, so they can't. My only fallback is I could bring more Americans in. They'd spend 1, 2 to leave there. They could definitely hit this unit. Maybe it's worth it. Get them up into Hue. Do I send an entire division up there and I can clear that next road as well? I think I will. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to now activate the 3rd Regiment of the 3rd Marine Division for a security operation. They've got a strength of 10. Now, do they have their headquarters with them? They do. And I'm guessing they can bring their headquarters. They'd like to bring their headquarters. Where is it? There we go, wrong headquarters. That's the 4th Regiment headquarters. That's the artillery, that's not moving. Might hold these guys back in Da Nang and send forward that group. So, security. I can assign friendly units. They're on a road. Okay, so independent artillery can't move, but this is not independent artillery. So I think I can't see where it says I can't assign my headquarters. I think it's reasonable to assume that a headquarters unit can come along for the ride. Friendly units. Only units begin the road. Only 1 stack of units can be assigned to that operation. Independent artillery can be assigned even if not on a road or part of the main stack. Okay, so that's different. Yep. So okay, pretty sure these guys can move. The cruiser, however, is done. They were part of that first operation, so they are used for this turn. But I'm pretty happy with what they did. All right, let's move along this road. We're going to go to here. At this point, we're in an enemy zone of control, so it's 1 to leave it, to go there. That's 1 movement point. It's another movement point to leave that zone of control, so we're up to 2. We then get to here, and it's 3, 4 to enter that hex, at which point we are in the same space as the enemy, and we trigger combat. Now we've got a strength of 10, plus 8 support from our headquarters coming along with us. So, and they are in a town, which is a -1 dice roll modifier. So we're looking at odds of 10 to 2, which is 5 to 1, which is a +5, -1, net +4 dice roll modifier, which is a result of 7. I'm already worried because I know the 7 causes a loss. Oh, but it might be 2. Let's check this out first. Firstly, the defender is 2 + 8 is 10. A roll of 7 will cause 2 losses, 2 more VC losses. Okay. And the roll of 7 with 10 strength, no support. Oh, jeez, this is causing 2 US replacements, 2 more victory points. Ouch. At this point, they have to retreat. 7. Okay, 7 from this location here. So they can cross the river. It's going to be 1. It's going to be 1. It's a minor river. I think it's a minor river. Yeah, minor river. So 1 + 1 is 2, +2 for the zone of control is 3, 4. And then from there, they'll get back on that road. Oh, actually, 4. They'll just move up there. So they're not on the road, but they are exerting a zone of control, a double zone of control on this road. So these Americans have certainly captured that with 4 movement left. Now, if they try to move forward, they're going to get here. It's going to cost 2 movement points to end here, and then they can do it. Okay, so they follow the road. They get to this location here and pause for a moment. It doesn't cost them anything to move into that hex. But now, to move here, it costs them 2. Oh, my headquarters is done. That's fine. Ooh, do I want to leave? I might leave the headquarters in Hue, which is leaving my support behind. Otherwise, actually, I can bring my support to there. And I'm going to leave a battalion with them and move forward with 6 with my last 2 movement points. So the headquarters only has a movement of 6, so they can't reach the hex, which is fine. They can stop there, but I don't want to leave them alone in that hex by themselves. They could be vulnerable. So we'll move 2 battalions in. That now gives me 6 attacking. Oh, +8, +8. So 14 on 2, which is the +5. They're in a town, so -1. So +4 is a roll of 8. Okay, so an 8 with a defense of 2 + 8 is 10, is 2 more VC losses. I'm really grinding them down. And good news for the Americans, they're 6, 8, they suffer no losses themselves. All right, so they secure that road. And these guys, as a reminder now, these guys are ops complete. These guys have to retreat. I didn't see, oh, a different unit. It's a 3, damn. I forgot it was a completely different unit. I thought it was a 2, which changes things. 6 + 8 is 14, is 4 to 1. 4 to 1 combat bonus is +4, so it's actually a 7. Still causes a 2 VC losses, but my poor 6 suffer a US loss. That's the only difference, and another VP for the NLF. All right, so these guys now have to retreat up to their movement. I think they've done a good job, and they're happy to get off the road. So they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're still patrolling. I might just put them there so they can still block that road. Got blocks all over the place. Okay, yeah, pretty happy with that. And then now, these guys cannot move anymore because they're in a zone of control, they're out of movement, and they are ops complete. So even before, operations haven't even started yet. And I've gained, basically here I am, I'm at the strategic movement phase, security operations, and strategic and naval movement, but I'm not doing any of that. So I'm just trying to clear that main road to help me move. The problem is I've kind of exhausted most of my American forces. I've got one regiment left, and then these guys are on hold, and then it's these guys down here who are ineffective. So I think what I've done is probably given the NLF a bit of the initiative here. All right, folks, I will pause it here, but a lot's happened, and I'm about now to get to the operations phase. Coming up, we'll have the NLF deciding who gets to go first, and as I said, I think they'll have a lot of initiative here to decide what happens. All right, folks, thanks for watching, and take care.